Attention, all employees, I have an important message. A concept well known to all Americans, as it should, considering many things about this country are decided on by elections. Voting, a word described by Merriam-Webster Dictionary as an expression of an opinion or preference. Presidents, judges, mayors, and governors are all voted upon by the general population, and if not, they are decided on by elected officials. Every year, young individuals cast their first ballot on Election Day, fulfilling the most basic action in a democratic society. Voting is a fundamental process that keeps our system of government working. Through elections, citizens have the ability to decide on who represents them in the government. Considering how much of our country's government revolves around voting in elections, wouldn't it make sense for Americans to make their opinions heard through ballots? Interesting enough that it isn't what's happening today. On Election Day, voters will not only select their representatives in government for the next term, but they will also have the ability to decide on measures like bond issues that grant the government permission to borrow money from construction projects and other developments. And sometimes voters cast their ballots on social issues such as allowing same-sex marriage or banning smoking in restaurants and bars. Personally, I believe that everyone should vote because everyone has an opinion. In American democracy, we value our ability to choose who is in office and reveal the fact that we have a say in what goes on in the political world. Reading up on issues and the candidates, researching the ballot is also a responsibility of a citizen voter, and responsibility that should not be taken lightly, because it is your voice. With many others in unison, that can be changed the direction of a community, state, nation, and even the world. Given the importance of elections in the United States, why do so many people not choose to vote? Why do some refuse to participate in elections when the officials and issues voted on have such a strong influence on nearly every aspect of their lives? However, when less than half the country is voting regularly, we have to ask ourselves, is this really a democracy? Yes, many will argue, of course it is. We will have elections and the country is run by the president. But look at it this way. The whole purpose of a democracy is every person will have a say in what goes on. And when less than half of the country is voting, not everyone's voice is being heard. And when not everyone is being heard, that is not a democracy. What concerns me is the fact that most people who don't vote are young and who are only 18 to 24 years old. Even though many people are opinionated and have different beliefs and ideals, most millennials, individuals from 18 to 29, have removed themselves from the electoral process. When I first heard these statistics, I was shocked. We always assume that everyone votes, but it's not the reality. What I found hardest to believe was the fact that only about half the millennials actually actively voice their thoughts. I personally cannot wait until I was old enough to have a say in the workings of the government, and I hated the thought that people who have the opportunity abuse it. Because of this, the fact that any voter quite literally have the future in what's going on in our democracy by voting is and use the opportunities they give them to make a difference in America. Citizens of many countries complain about the world around them, and many don't have the option to change the world, but we do. However, do you, the youth of America, have the power to make the decisions that affect the country? If you don't like the way America is run and yet don't have a vote in elections or make your opinions heard, then you, not the government. It's your fault, not the government's. With the government elected by its citizens, and that affects every aspect of our lives, between schools, to health care, to homeland security, and is an important right in our society. By voting, you are making your voice heard and registering your opinion and how you think the government should operate. Enough voices in unison can elect everyone to office, reaffirm, or even change the course of our government. I hope that when you listen to this video, I hope that you realize the importance of voting, because the power to choose what happens in the country, we can make America stronger. You personally can make America better in the means of voting. To find out where to vote, you can contact your local Board of Elections and then we'll tell you where to vote. Thank you.